Greetings and welcome back to another episode of the Zeta Upsilon podcast. My name is Dominic Frattura, ZY1522. So that would be fall of 2017. And I'm joined today with Mr. John Charles Hopkins. John, thanks for being here with us. What's your badge number, by the way?
1549.
And what was your pledge class?
I was in fall 2018.
And not a lot of people, maybe from the older era, know this, but John was student body president. And so that was probably the defining moment of your college career. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, honestly, I owe it all to Sigma Nu. Partially joining Sigma Nu was because of my uncle, Chuck Hopkins, ZY822, who was tragically killed in college in a car accident. But his memory and his legacy has been so fulfilled and so held on to at the chapter that I was recruited heavily by the chapter to join. And when I did, it completely changed my life. And part of that was having the body and the machine of Sigma Nu behind me, pushing me and propelling me to run for student body president and helping me win student body president. And so it was a journey, but it was one that truly changed my life. And I owe it all to the brothers of Sigma Nu.
Well, John, right back at you. I think that Sigma Nu owes you a lot and that you've changed Sigma Nu in a lot of great ways, not only because, you achieved so much for us through your on-campus involvement, but your family's tied to child help. Not a lot of people would also know that it was your grandmother who founded the organization, Sarah O'Mara, alongside her co-founder, Yvonne Feddersen. In what year was that?
1959.
In 1959. Tell us a little bit about child help and the mission of that organization.
Well, firstly, I just want to take a moment to thank Sigma Nu for their continued support of child help. What an incredible legacy to show that our chapter has been donating to the same cause for almost 40 years. That is a testament of dedication and honor and truly encompasses the values that we have as Sigma Nu. And so I'm just so grateful. My family is so grateful for Sigma Nu. I can't tell you the number of times that child help has needed volunteers or needed dollars raised that Sigma Nu has stepped up and done that. So I just wanted to take a moment to thank the chapter, thank Sigma Nu nationally for making us, making child help a helping hand partner nationally, and our chapter at ASU for continuing the work they do with child help. But to answer your question, like you said, my grandmother, Sarah O'Mara, alongside her best friend, Yvonne Feddersen, started child help in 1959. Kind of out of the blue, it was a calling from God, as they say, and they were out entertaining the troops in Japan, and a typhoon came through, and they went on the streets once it passed and found several orphans huddled in a alleyway and took them in. And long story short, after taking care of those children, finding them a home in some orphanages in Japan, they came back to the U.S. and were thanked for their services and were called to do the same thing in Vietnam during that war. And that led to, once again, an award where they were given in Congress. And within that, they were asked by the Reagans to combat the biggest and best kept secret in America, which is child abuse. And so that's kind of the origination story summed up very quickly, but that's been their legacy and that's their life. And I'm just so proud of our chapter to continue to be involved with child help.
Right. And Sigma Nu at ASU has raised over $1 million since 1988. And the reason we use 1988 sort of as a mile marker is because that was the year that Chuck Hopkins tragically was killed in a car accident on homecoming weekend, who was your uncle. And, Chuck ran for student body president. You ran for student body president. Chuck was a very strong leader on campus, as were you. And so tell us a little bit about your uncle, who you never got to meet, but who you've embodied in so many ways.
Right. Like you mentioned, I never got to meet my Uncle Chuck, but I'll tell you what, the number of people that come up to me, whether it be Sigma Nu alumni, old family friends, and tell me about Chuck Hopkins is absolutely astronomical and incredible, because what I've learned more than anything is that I should embody my life how Chuck embodied his life, because he lived a life of love, of passion, of fun, of honor, and of faith. And that is all you can ask for in a man. And that's what we teach at Sigma Nu. And he's been my role model the whole time. It was almost like a legacy fulfillment to run for student body president after he did and win it. It truly was one of the most important moments of my life, and that's because of Chuck.
Mm-hmm. And the Brotherhood Award is named in his honor at the house, which you ultimately ended up receiving when you were a student at ASU. What's sort of your vision for that award that was created before your time, but for the brothers in the future who want to receive that, what do you think the qualifications should be for someone who gets something like that?
Well, I think it's a testament to the legacy that the Brother of the Year award is named after my Uncle Chuck, and it's truly incredible. And I think we can really mold that award into something very spectacular and make it quite an honor to receive. Obviously, it already is, but I think we can even elevate it more and maybe hold a ceremony of some type or something like that. But I'm just so proud and grateful that I was able to receive that award for being a good brother, but also so proud to see that the guys are so excited to receive it, and it's such a sought-after award in the house.
Mm-hmm. So now, John, you are 26 years old, and you are running the Zeta Upsilon House Corporation. You're the president of the House Corporation?
I am. It's been a journey. Been running the House Corporation for about a year now, but been in contact with ASU. I have monthly meetings with the administration to go over the housing and the GLV. As you know, the housing is looking a lot different than it used to on 601 Alpha Drive, but
Right.
With the ASU administration kind of running the show now, we need a good liaison. And fortunately, when I served as student body president as well as student trustee, I was able to get to know the administration really well. And so Scott Rutledge wisely, somewhat voluntold me to be on the House Corporation and to go to these meetings and interact with ASU in a positive manner. And I think it's worked out well.
What would you say is your biggest goal for the House Corporation?
I think all goals with Sigma Nu and the House Corporation are somewhat aligned. And for me, with the House Corporation, I think the biggest goal is to continue to get alumni support for the House. The biggest long-term goal that is currently not being pursued enough is the Alumni Lodge, in my opinion, where we can have a meeting place for the alumni near campus in Tempe that alumni can go to, actives can go to, and we can have annual meetings there or whatever be the occurrence that we use it. But I think that's something that could be a fantastic long-term goal, and I know it could even align with the endowment that you and Isaac Lent are attempting to create.
Mm-hmm. What's something that you want the alumni from the 60s, 70s, and 80s, let's say, to understand about the modern House Corporation?
Well, firstly, I don't want them to be afraid to reach out and ask to get involved, because more alumni, the better. Like we've talked about in the past, the more alumni presence a chapter has, the higher likelihood they are to succeed and to continue to grow. And so I don't want alumni to be scared to reach out. We have unlimited seats, basically, where you can come in and sit as an at-large member on the House Corporation board and voice your opinions. I think outside of that, for the House Corporation, it's a lot different than what it used to be with the 601 Alpha Drive house, because we owned the land.
Right.
Here, we're renting property. And so, we have a signed MOU agreement for 4 years. And so it's a bit different in that aspect, but there's still some oversight. Obviously, we keep the house in high regard. And thanks to you, the house looks amazing. And we have so much history on the walls that we want to protect, as well as other things around the house that are historic to our chapter.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was a big endeavor to get that place looking the way that it is. And if you're an alum watching and you've never been to the new house, it's just as significant as visiting 601. I understand that 601 isn't there, but this is the next best bet. And not only will you be greeted by amazing guys who care about Sigma Nu and who are leaders on campus, but you're also going to see things like the old diving board. You're going to see the big badge that hung over the big front door at 601 Alpha Drive. You're going to see photos all over the walls of significant things like the mug chugging or relays. And the investment that we've made into that home and the fact that the guys live in that environment, honor that, cherish that, perpetuate that, and see it on the walls because of the great example that our alumni set before us is something we should all be proud of. And certainly we're happy that John Hopkins is in charge of the House Corporation as a young guy. What I'd say to alums is that the House Corporation is not as it's not what it used to be when John Thorne and Pete Fagella were running it. It was different, and you sort of alluded to that. We don't own the property, et cetera. So think of this more of just an opportunity to be involved as an alum, to provide mentorship and guidance to the chapter. And that's what we've really been doing as we've stepped into these young alumni roles, John. And so describe a little bit about how you were involved operationally with getting the chapter, really in a great spot, and then how you've continued to foster that as you've graduated, and some of like the key operational areas that you think we should be focused.
Yeah, it's funny looking back on how I rushed in my pledging. Our pledge class and the chapter at the time called it the greatest heist in history, because when we were rushing, we had no idea that the chapter was not officially a chapter yet. And so we assumed we were joining a fully fledged chapter, but they were actually a colony. And right when we got in was the chartering ceremony for the chapter. And so our pledge class was the first pledge class from rechartering, fall 18. And so we went through a unique experience of being the first group to really experience what the pledge process now looks like. And so what's interesting to me is looking back now and talking to the guys now and looking at the process, it is very similar. And so that shows that those values still continue, and those leadership things that we teach throughout the program persist, and they work. Mm-hmm. And so to answer your question about operationally, when I was in the House, we were all about building and being better and innovating. And I think that in order to continue to succeed, you have to innovate. And, the lead session that I typically do in the chapter every year, I reference Jeffrey Moore's Crossing the Chasm chart that he has a whole book on. And it shows that once you cross that chasm and you're at the pinnacle of whatever you're trying to be the best at, the only way to go higher than the pinnacle is to restart the process and innovate and come up with something new. And so that's kind of what I think our chapter really excels at, is innovation, looking at things we do well and making them better, and continuing to strive for greatness. It's funny because we've become the best chapter at ASU. We've nationally been recognized as the best chapter in the country, and we're constantly asking what's next, what's new, what can we do better? Yeah. So I think that is kind of the model that we have that makes us succeed well.
Yeah, and we have a great time along the way, although we don't always talk about it on camera, right? But there is tons of every single weekend, great events that have been hosted. And although maybe the alumni don't see it because they're not physically there, these guys and what we were able to achieve in terms of the social scene is unbelievable. And ASU is great. From the sorority girls to the venues to just the atmosphere there, it's a pretty top tier college experience. And, for the kids who are coming out to Rush, how would you describe the chapter in 30 seconds and what they can expect as a member of Sigma Nu if they're given a bid?
For sure. I think if I were to describe Sigma Nu in 30 seconds, what I would say is, firstly, Sigma Nu is a network unlike any other. It simply is. It simply has a relationship with people you've never met that instantly trust you because of the values that you were brought up on throughout your pledge process. So that's one, is the network. Secondly is the social scene and the social network you also gain from it. Where else will you get a group of guys like-minded that want to have fun and attract girls, whatever, to parties and have a good time other than a fraternity? It's such a perfect place to do it. And what's so interesting and great about Sigma Nu is you have guys that come from all different backgrounds and who have all different skill sets and want to do different things for the chapter. Some guys that's social, some guys that's leadership, some guys that's the pledge process. And so you get the mix of all three when you're a member. You get the mix of everything. Mm-hmm. And it's laid out for you. If I were to say what differentiates Sigma Nu from any other chapter at ASU, I'd say is our pledge process, because we don't haze, we build leadership values, and we build you into a man, a gentleman. And so those things propel you in your career and in life. And sometimes that doesn't occur at every chapter. And so I think that our pledge process and our leadership model that we perpetuate is truly the differentiating factors.
Now, how would you describe what we do now to an alum, someone from the 60s or 70s who had the experience from 601 Alpha Drive, who's trying to understand or who might be re-engaging with the chapter for the first time in many decades? How would you just describe what we've got going on, and what would you say to them?
Well, firstly, I'd say that it's probably not much different than when they were in the house. You know, the values of Sigma Nu are everlasting, and I bet you if they went back and really sat down and learned about the chapter, that they'd see it's very similar to when they were in the house. And I think that the guys now still have a blast. They still do well. And I bet you in 10, 15 years, they're going to be leaders in all of their career fields, just like the alumni are now. And so I think looking back, and if I were to explain what the chapter is like to the alumni, I'd say it's very similar to when you were in the house, and we're continuing to be the best. We're continuing to succeed in all avenues, and we're continuing to strive for greatness.
What's your advice to a young collegian who wants to be a leader in ZY?
I think the best advice I can give is just do it. You know, if you have an idea, do the extra research, come prepared, and present it to the EC, present it to the chapter. And you don't have to hold the position of whatever you're trying to achieve in order to enact that change. Innovation and ideas can come from anybody. And many times throughout our experience, it came from guys who did not hold leadership positions, who just stood up and spoke their mind. And that led to group discussion and led to greatness. And so you don't have to hold a position. You don't have to be the guy in charge, but you have to put in a little extra work in something you believe in, and it can flourish into something really great.
What are some examples of what those things could be?
I think of when I became student body president, a lot of guys had ideas on many things, you included. And you came to me and presented those ideas and said, I think, you know, with the authority that you now have, this is something that would be really amazing. And Greek Fest was born out of that, which is now an annual tradition. And that was because you came to me and said, I have this vision of a fun event that the Greeks host for all of ASU, because not everybody at ASU gets to experience Greek life. And so I thought, wow, what a great event that embodies ASU's charter, that embodies the values of Sigma Nu. Why not? And so we put a budget towards it and we created it. And in the first year, I would say it wasn't a massive success, but now that it's become an annual tradition, it's one of the most sought after events every year.
Yeah.
So
And with the
that's an
stroke of
example.
a pen, $100,000 later, we created Greek Fest.
Well, that's, you know, fortunately when you become the president, you have the authority to allocate that kind of money.
Yeah. I think that my best advice is that if you're a young Sigma Nu trying to, you know, get leadership experience and enact, you know, your vision, you got to earn it, you know, and that comes through learning as much as you can, interviewing alumni, picking Scott Rutledge's brain, picking the commander's brain, calling these alums, understanding what ZY is, and also having a basic fundamental understanding of what Sigma Nu is and the Legion of Honor is, and what our principles of love, truth, and honor mean, and what is our national history, and why do fraternities exist, and, you know, really get deep into what Sigma Nu is, which is, I think, what all of us did in our generation. And then you could start to, you know, have a little bit more of a say, you know, and some weight behind your voice when you talk at chapter, whether that's a social idea, but even better yet, you know, especially in the beginning years, ideas for alumni engagement or ideas for on-campus involvement or our brand or marketing or events that we should host, PR. I mean, the list goes on and on and on of all sorts of amazing things that you can achieve and learn through Sigma Nu that you're wasting an opportunity if you don't do that and take advantage of that. And so I know you agree. I just wanted to put that out there. Is there anything else that you want to mention? One thing that I want you to discuss real quickly as a promo is that as House Corporation president, you created a website, sigmanuasu.com, I think.
That's
and
correct.
This thing is awesome. And we've already got 100 people signed up. But talk to us a little bit about what that is.
Well, I developed it because I wanted a place for alumni to go to not only relive their years, but to also see what's going on in the active chapter and to connect with brothers they may have lost contact with. And so what's so great about the website is there's two sections of the website. There's the external public facing, which shows off a lot of the achievements of the chapter, about our chapter, about the House Corporation, about the Alumni Association, and that's public. And then there's the member portal where you can sign in. If you're a brother, you can sign in and make an account with your badge number and your last name and have access to unlimited access about the chapter, meaning there's directories of all brothers that have passed through the house, and you can request contact info for those brothers. There's a funny memories area where you can see memories. People can post memories. You can react. You can post photos about. There's sections to add photos. You can go through. We have every composite from almost the 50s on in that website that you can go and relive those experiences and see the photos that you possibly haven't seen in decades. Mm-hmm. On top of that, you can submit photos that may be sitting in your shoebox upstairs, and we'll upload them so others can enjoy those memories that you have. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's just a really great resource for alumni to go to see what the chapter's doing, to connect with old brothers that you might have lost contact with, and to relive your college experience.
Right. So I also serve on the House Corporation among many other great brothers in our chapter. One of them is Bruce Lawson. Bruce Lawson has forked up the tens of thousands of dollars, I'm not going to say exactly how much it cost, to send 12 brothers for about a week and a half to India this December 2026. They are going to learn about the business environment in India, the political environment, the economic environment, culture. They are going to travel there with a Rhodes Scholar, the director of the School of Civic and Economic Thought and Leadership at ASU, Dr. Paul Carisse, and his wife, Susan. And this experience is going to be transformational for them, a global experience, something they could put on their resume. But the significance of this is truly in the fact that what Bruce is doing has never been done before, as far as we know, on any college campus, in terms of partnering with an academic unit at a major university to send just brothers from the same fraternity on a study abroad trip. And we are going to make national news with this. I wanted to just commend Bruce for this, and also let all the alumni who are watching know that what we are about to do in just a few short months is going to be groundbreaking. It's going to be transformational. It's going to be history. And headquarters is involved with us on it. They're really, jazzed that we're doing this. And the students are going to have a life-changing experience from this.
I agree. I think it's absolutely incredible that Bruce is doing this for our brothers. What an experience. You went to India.
Yeah,
on
the
same trip. Yeah. I mean, tell us about that experience and what it did for you.
Yeah, I mean, whether it's going to the Taj Mahal or going into a Sikh temple or sitting crisscross applesauce eating out of a metal tray it's just culturally very, very different. A lot of India is living on less than $1 a day. Most of them are just plugging in. Thousands of Indians are plugging into the internet for the first time every single day. I mean, talk about a culture shock. So, but there's no one more qualified for these types of experiences than the leaders that we have at Sigma Nu, who are going to get this global experience and then use it to their advantage as they go on to grad school and go on in their careers, and are able to talk about this experience, but also have that embedded into their soul, into their mind, and have a different viewpoint on the entire world because of this experience. And it's not only going to result in them getting better gigs after school because they've got it on their resume, but it's going to change their life because of their perspective. India is a wonderful country, and why not? Both of us went to Thunderbird School of Global Management. We understand global leadership, global business, and the significance of being able to get out there and go to new places. I studied abroad 4 times in college. Colombia, wow. Australia, Israel, and India. 2 of them were with the School of Civic and Economic Thought and Leadership, this program that Bruce is making possible through that school. And it's a world-class experience. So I just wanted to recognize that and recognize Bruce Lawson for what he's doing for our chapter. This is not the only thing that he's funded in recent years. He is by far and away our biggest benefactor that we have ever had at Zeta Upsilon for what he has made possible for our members. whether it's sending them to Hawaii on an internship this summer, or two brothers to Florida on their internship this summer, or the four brothers that he sent to India last time, and the tens of thousands of dollars that he's poured into the house for furniture and for investing in our leadership. He takes the brothers out to Steak 44 or Fleming's, to all the guys who are involved in student government.
Yeah, to celebrate them.
He'll bring 20 guys who are involved in student government out for a steak dinner. Yeah. He just funded the student government campaign of Solomon Tyler. So these are the exact examples that alumni should be aware of, that if they want to contribute to the House Corporation or to the Alumni Chapter, we will ensure that those funds are being utilized for the historic milestones that we want to achieve and that are going to help develop ethical leaders at our chapter.
Yeah, I think his generosity, Bruce's generosity, is truly inspirational. The number of times that he has come in and created opportunities for brothers that they wouldn't have otherwise is amazing. And without Bruce, like you said, this whole trip wouldn't happen. Add it to the tally of things that Sigma Nu at ASU has done historically for the first time. And that makes me think of other things that we've done, which you were a part of. So go ahead. You might possibly be the most knowledgeable person on ASU Sigma Nu currently.
Yeah. You
might possibly be. And with that being said, you just organized one of the most historic, I should say, pilgrimage that we have seen in the country. Nationals has told us this, that it is the furthest chapter that's ever traveled to headquarters in a pilgrimage, and that was organized by you. So why don't you tell us about that?
You were there. Bruce was there. Scott was there. Dan Rodriguez was there. So we had alumni there. Rudy Garcia was there. Why did we do that? Well, you and I both had national experience with Sigma Nu. We know the value of going back to headquarters in Lexington, Virginia, seeing the shrine or the rock of Sigma Nu, seeing our three founders' original badges from the 1800s. Just being there it hits different, right? So there's that element to it. Seeing VMI, getting that military experience, being on the parade grounds there. All of that is something that will change the mindset of our brothers, make them more attracted to Sigma Nu and more invested in Sigma Nu in the future. And we had the opportunity to make this possible, so why wouldn't we? And we did it, and we sent 70 guys there. And their Sigma Nu experience will forever be changed by that. They will remember that for the rest of their lives. And it was really amazing because Brad Beecham, the CEO of Sigma Nu, was able to facilitate a 2-day leadership training for these guys. We talked about 7 Habits of Highly Effective Leaders. We talked about really amazing leadership foundations that brothers can implement in their lives. And so they all walked away different people. But it was fun, too. Whether it was playing cards at night and hanging out and smoking cigars on the patio, and they've got this new Spears Center for Excellence with 40 bunks in it and a big common area. And so it was unlike anything that Zeta Upsilon has ever done in history.
Or any chapter nationally.
Yeah.
So that's pretty inspirational, I think. And so that leads me to my next question. Like I said, you might be one of the most knowledgeable people on ASU Sigma Nu. What inspires you to continue to learn about it and continue to be that guy who is becoming the focal point contact for ASU Sigma Nu?
I love it, man. There's nothing greater than our alumni. There's nothing greater than what we're able to do to transform the lives of the students that come in to Sigma Nu. I remember sitting down with you doing your resume for you when you were first getting involved in student government and then helping you get student body president. And it's like you can achieve anything that you put your mind to, and especially with Sigma Nu. And so we're able to do that with the young men every single year. And then also we've got the greatest alumni in the world. It's an untapped resource at this point. But the biggest leaders in real estate, in government, in academia, the list goes on and on and on of the ways that our alumni are just embedded around the world. And so now with modern technology, you can hunt them all down. So it's easy for me. This was not as easy for someone like Brian Amster in the 90s.
Right.
And That's why I do it. It's a good time. And people, there's nothing better than getting together with your old friends and picking up where you left off 20 years ago, 10 years ago, whenever the last time you saw that person was. And for me, it's my way to get back. I think it's the best thing that you can invest your time or money into. It's your social network. It's and it's people with a shared mindset who align with your values. You can trust them. You can depend on them. You're going to get opportunities through them. You can help by giving opportunities to them. I mean, I can't tell you how many things just you and I have done together through child help or whatever it is. And so I think that our founders were wise when they put together the ritual of Sigma Nu. And I think there's a secret to, there's a reason why this is secret, because it's a powerful thing. And so we're harnessing the power of the alumni chapter and the active chapter. We've created something incredibly powerful and great at ASU, and we will continue that.
So Dom, I wanted to ask you some quick questions, a little fire round.
Oh boy.
So real quick.
Okay.
What's your favorite memory in Sigma Nu?
So COVID in the house. It was spring break 2020, and we were all in San Diego on the beach, and we get an email from the university saying that classes will not resume. And we had all kind of heard about this coronavirus. And I will say that I was a little bit ahead of the times, and I remember warning people in January.
I do remember
we were
that.
on stage with Doug Ducey. You and I were at ASU in February, and I shouldn't say this, you were sick through that interview. That was probably Corona, and you were shaking Doug Ducey's hand and everything. But anyways, I lived in the house at that time.
Right.
Did you too?
Partially.
Yeah. And I stayed there all summer long, and it was just me and one brother, Max Fees. And we had some debates because that was also the summer of love. But I won't get into that. And we just had a great time because classes were online, and it was awesome. I mean, we were having fun in the GLV. I'll just say that. But the Palms, the times when we'd party 3 nights in a row at the Palms, and it would just be crazy. I mean, I don't even remember all the memories. There's so many, and it never ends. That's the beauty of it all.
Yeah, that's great. So who is the funniest brother when you were in the house?
I like James Jenkins.
James Jenkins.
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
And he is funny. All right, who's the best athlete in the house?
Well, Dane Checkett was known for that, but that was a little bit like right as I was graduating. In our era, MVP, I don't know. It wasn't Dip, was it?
I'd say either Coley D.
Yeah, Coley D.
Or...
Yeah, I'd say Cole.
Cole. Okay, who is the biggest ladies' man in the house?
Padilla.
Padilla.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
I was thinking Owens, but that works too.
Yeah.
Okay, who is the smartest guy in the house?
Hoiby and Travis, yeah, and Cole. They're nerdy guys, and these guys are all top leaders in the house. Chaplain, Commander,
yeah.
LC,
I was thinking Kyle Poland.
I mean, well, what a legend. I mean, he's now at Penn, and I think he's at Wharton for his MBA. He's got his MD. I mean,
yeah, he's
unbelievable. But Travis would do my math homework for me, and Hoiby would do my managerial accounting homework for me, and I just had it all set up.
Well, that's the beauty of the house, right? You tap the guys who have the skill sets where you need them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. How about the brother that would bring everyone together, the biggest brotherhood guy?
Derek Baranski, Brendan Knight, in his own weird way, Hoiby. My memory doesn't go back that far. You know, John, I like to just live in the present. I don't think too much about the past.
Fair enough. So I'll leave you with this last question, maybe an easier one. Who do you believe was the best commander in your time, and why?
Ooh, this is a risky territory to enter into, John. Here's what I'll say. Rob, we needed Rob at the time for what he did. RJ, the coup, you know, I was fully supporting Rob. Then there was a coup, and RJ came in, probably rightfully so, in retrospect. He was what we needed. He's our second commander. Then Hoiby, my pledge brother, smart guy, culturally brought us in the right place socially and everything else. And then Thompson, very organized guy, led through COVID-19, your pledge class. You know, the secretary come commander type of personality, and you know, a good dude. Then it was Bailey Powledge,
Rudy.
So Rudy is who I'd say, but it's because he was he led with an iron fist and he didn't take any shit, and he brought the house where it needed to be. I can continue to go through all the commanders. I thought Bailey was great. I think Bush is fine, and so on and so forth. But it's all
great. So Rudy's
there's
the winner. Your shout out.
Rudy's
on
the
record.
Winner. And when Rudy came to the house, he was wearing a damn cowboy hat. I call it a sombrero because he's from New Mexico, big Mexican guy. He wasn't that big at the time, but he kind of got bigger, and he's fluctuating, sort of like you, John. And I didn't want to give him a bid. I said, I don't know about that.
And he turned out to be the greatest commander in your eyes.
And homecoming king, chief of staff, and student government. We work together now. Great guy. But I appreciate those questions. Thank you. Well, John, I just want to thank you for coming on today. This has been fun. I'm glad that we could dive into your story a little bit, learn about the House Corporation and your time at Sigma Nu.
Yeah, likewise.